Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Freedom Clinic with your girl, the Freedom Coach, Deasha. Listen, I am so excited on tonight. This is our jump off, our kickoff. We got the brothers in the house. Y'all, I'm just so excited about this thing. I've been waiting on my brothers for a minute, and I believe they're gonna take us where we need to go. I believe that they for this time of us celebrating them, I believe it's important as women that we celebrate our brothers, that we celebrate our men, that we get understanding from them so that we know how to help them, so we know how to be better partners to them, so we know how to be better friends to them, better sisters to them. So I am excited. When y'all get on here, say hey to us, let us know you on here. I see Sister Tia Harris. How you doing? Hey Tiani. I see Tiani on there. She clapping and everything. So I'm so excited. Listen, Tiani, be ready because I'm getting ready to have both of y'all back. I'm telling you now for the couples, okay? So be ready. But I am excited. I got my brother on here tonight. This is my brother. I mean, ever since the first day I met him, that we've just been brother and sis. It ain't never been nothing else different. It's always been brother and sis.
Facts.
Also, he's one of my favorite drummers. I've only got a few. It ain't too many. I only got a few. I got about maybe five, but he is my favorite, one of my favorite, and he's also one of my favorite to play with as well because he knows where I'm getting ready to go. Sometimes before I even go, we be in the spirit together. And so I just truly enjoy that. I absolutely love my brother's spirit. He's so humble. He loves God. He loves the worship. And so I thank God for him. I thank God because we're always able to catch the vibe. And when I asked him, will he come on? He didn't go into a whole lot of this, that, and the other. He said, sis, I got you. And
Yeah.
so when you have people like that in your life, you got to thank God for them. Because a lot of people tell you they're going to do something and then you never see them again.
Right.
So I've talked the talk. So I'm going to pass it to my brother. I'm going to let him introduce himself, let him tell us what he's doing, where we can find him, and what he's getting ready to start doing in this next season.
hmm Well, man, Deasha, thank you so much for having me, man. Like you said, we've known each other now for some years, and ever
Yes.
since we've known each other, we have clicked instantly. I mean, every time we see each other, it's all nothing but love. Now
Yes.
that we are now playing together, man, the vibe has just been absolutely different. Every week is something different. We push each other every single week to do more,
Yes.
be more. You know what I'm saying? And it's sometimes where if ain't nobody else in the church going in, me and Deasha, we in the back, slump somewhere. Bishop
Yep.
be trying to move forward and we still in.
Yes.
um, but you can definitely find me on all social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook at Josh Riggins. You can find me on Instagram. I speak to use listen. You can also find me on TikTok. It is I am music underscore. I definitely post a lot of content over there, trying to encourage different people. So definitely, look me up, say hello. Don't be a stranger. I promise I won't bite. With that being said, when sis asked me to come, it was a little bit ago. We was working on it. She said she wanted to do something for the men, and so when she asked me 2 weeks ago, I could do nothing but say yes. She's always had. Anytime I call Deasha, she's been there. So it was time that I returned the favor to her. So what I wanted to talk about, fellas, listen up. I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me well. Okay, it's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
Right? Let's take that in for a second. Let's think about that. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have everything together. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to not have it. It's okay to not be okay. Sometimes as men, especially the good men, we feel like we have to have it. We're Superman. We're working 3 and 4 jobs. We're trying to make extra money. We're dads. We're husbands, or we're spouses to each other. And a lot of times we forget that we are human, and we
Yes.
forget that um, our mental health matters as well. And so a lot of times what happens is, which is why you see a lot of African American males unaliving themselves, is because of the pressures of everyday life. We wear so
Mm-hmm.
many different hats throughout the day. We're like I said, we're a dad, we're a husband, but then we go to work, we got to act a certain way. When we are with our homeboys, we got to act a certain ways, and we never really have time to figure out who you are. Okay. And so, because you don't know who you are and you're trying to figure it out, that is stressful. And I understand that, which is why our suicide rate is so high. So take a second and I want you to just breathe. Okay. I want you to just breathe. I want you to think about where you are. I want you to think about how you got here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then after you done all that snot nosing and crying and you done all that good stuff, I want you to look yourself in your mirror and take partial blame for what you did. And let me tell you why I say take partial blame. Because I say take partial blame because we have forgotten in the midst of all of that, we forget to take care of ourselves, right?
Yes.
Because we're so focused on trying to take care of everybody else. So you have to take ownership of that. I apologize. I was wrong for this part. You got what I'm saying? Like, are y'all with me? And then once you start taking ownership of not taking care of yourself, take ownership of not always incorporating Christ in everything that you did. Because as men and as believers, when life is hitting us, we get angry at God, right? Come on, let's just be real. We get
Mm-hmm.
angry at God and we start asking God, why is this happening to me? God, why did you this? Or why did you allow this to happen? But at the same time, God is saying that I'm giving you what you're going to need for somebody else. You got what I'm saying? So in the midst of our going through, we forget who God really is until it's time for God to be God. So then we have to go to
Mm-hmm.
God and we have to acknowledge where we went wrong. Okay. And that doesn't just mean, God, I smoked a blunt, or God, I had some liquor. No, 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 no. I'm going to talk a little bit deeper. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go back and remember the time where God told you to get up at 4 in the morning and pray and you didn't. You got what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go back and remember the time where God told you, I need you to fast for the next 10 days and you didn't. I want you to remember the time where God blessed you, even when your behind didn't deserve it and you did nothing to give him glory from it. You got what I'm saying? I want you to think about those times that you forgot God. Now, when it's time for you to go through your trouble and tribulation, you don't feel God because you haven't built that relationship. You got what I'm saying? When God was trying to get you to understand, I'm asking you to come and fast for 10 days because you're getting ready to go through something that you're going to need my help with. You got what I'm saying? I'm asking you to put everything down for a while because there's something going on that you're going to need from me. But now that it's here, you don't know how to deal with it. Okay? So I want you to take ownership. Okay? I remember back in it was 2020, like right before COVID. Um we're going to be real in here, right? So I wasn't always the best husband, okay? And I was wondering why, things weren't going right. And I was praying and I was speaking in tongues, doing the whole shebang, right? So then I was looking in the mirror, and then God told me the reason why things aren't going your way is because of you. So I said, nah, that ain't true. Babe doing this and babe doing that. And God said, no, 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 listen to me. And God began to show me all of the things where I went wrong at. And God began to show me, all of the feelings that she had because it was because of me. You following what I'm saying? So once I realized that I was a problem, I had to go to God and fix it. But not only did I have to go to God to fix it, I had to put in the work. The Bible says faith without works is dead. You got what I'm saying? So if I wanted my marriage to be better, I had to put in the work in order to make it. I had to put in the work in order to make it work. A lot of times we get so confused, and I feel like this is really misconstrued when it comes to Christians. That if we say, example, if we say, God, I want $100,000, right? You tell God you want $100,000. You go to prayer, you fast over it, and God's going to say, okay. But then we expect God to just put the money in our account. But like I just said, the Bible says faith without works is dead. You can ask for the $100,000, but if you're not putting in the work for that $100,000, you're never going to see it. You got what I'm saying? So we have to take ownership of of where we are, and we have to admit where we went wrong. Once we admit where we went wrong, now it's time to put in the work. Okay, you're going to have to do your part, and then understand that whatever the outcome is, you did what you were told to do. Okay, a lot of times as men, we always have to have the solution, and we also have to have the answer for everything. But a lot of times, when we are walking this walk with Christ, we don't always know the answer. You know what I'm saying? We don't always know how we're going to get there. Let me say it like that. We don't always know how we're going to get there. But what we do know is what God promised us. And whatever God promised you, that's your business. You do what you got to do, right? But as long as you are doing what you are supposed to do, that's all that matters. And we have to be okay with that. We have to be able to live with that. Because then as you start doing your work, and as you start doing your part to figure out, what you were wrong and how to better yourself, you're going to start to see things change, some good and some bad. And you're going to have to realize that God is trying to make room for what you prayed for. And so you can't keep allowing the things that were hindering you to get you bent out of shape. You got what I'm saying? So and that's just really it. Life isn't easy for nobody. It's really all about what you make it. But what I can tell you is that if you continue to do your personal work, and if you continue to seek God no matter the outcome, and if you continue to just do your part, man, as men, it will be okay eventually. There is always going to be light at the end of the tunnel, but sometimes let me say it to you like that. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but sometimes that tunnel is so dark to where you can only see but a couple feet in front of you. So we have to be able to change our prayer to say, God, I can't see the light, but show me your footsteps to guide me to the light. Okay. I don't know where I'm going. This cave is dark, as bats flying around and all that good stuff. But as long as you can show me your footsteps and lead me in the right path, then I trust you. That's all that matters. So as long as you continue to do that, then you're going to be in a good spot. It's going to get better. But the most important thing is you're going to have to put in that work, and you're going to have to come into the realization of taking that ownership. You got what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it, guys. That's my little spiel. I want your guys, I want all my fellas out there, man. Life gets better, it gets hard. I want y'all to take a second to just breathe. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to feel emotions. I know growing up in the streets and growing up in public schools and all that good stuff, we weren't taught to show emotion. We weren't taught any of that stuff. We weren't even taught a lot of times on how to communicate. But it gets better. It's okay to be okay. It's okay to say I'm angry. It's okay to just not be okay. It's okay. It's okay to want to feel like you want to cry and let it out. I'm telling you, it's okay. Because because if you continue to keep those emotions in, all it's doing is hurting your spirit even more. And you continue to do things to try and hinder how you feeling, but it's not killing the source. You're only subduing it. Okay. You're not helping anything. Okay. So it's okay. Now, with that, I do feel like because men's emotions are really kind of taboo to a lot of people, there aren't a lot of spaces it there aren't a lot of spaces for men to feel like it's okay. So if you are feeling like you're not okay, you can always it's always somebody that you can call. You just got to be able to find the right people. And I'm telling you straight up that you can always call me. It's always people around that you can just talk to and just say that I'm messed up. And I feel like as men, because I've talked to a lot of men, and a lot of men say the same thing. I'm feeling like this, but I don't know who to talk to. So as men, we need to come together and just check on each other. I don't want to know if I ask you how you doing. I don't want to know, oh, I'm cool. I really want to know how you're doing. I want to look at you in your eyes, and I want to look down in your soul and really see how you're doing. And I feel like as men, because we weren't taught any of that, um, that we don't know how to do that. You got what I'm saying? So as a unit, and as a lot of times the head of our households, let's come together. Let's start having meetings. Not even meetings, let's have a group chat. Hey boys, I ain't really feeling today. Or hey boys, so and so and so and so going on. You know what I'm saying? So that way it's always a community of brotherly love. And now you always have people who are going through the same thing that you are going through. So now you have somebody who you can relate to, and you can ask them, okay, well, how did you get through this? How did you get through that? So that way we are all helping each other. You got what I'm saying? So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Now in 2022, I feel like now is a better time than ever to, make things happen and to tackle, men's mental health and things like that. So let's get to it, guys. The world needs black men. And I don't just mean black men, I mean real black men, the people that actually take care of their kids, pay their bills, go to work. You got what I'm saying? That are helping out their community. You got what I'm saying? People are the generation under us does not see enough everyday black men who are really superheroes. Okay. Every time you turn on TV, it's always something crazy. It's always, y'all know, y'all watch these TV shows, they crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there isn't a real representation of what a black man is supposed to look like. So I say that to say, the world needs us just like we need y'all. So we have to do whatever it is that we can do to make sure that we're staying around for as long as we can. Because what we bring to the table is so necessary and it's so important. Okay. There are a lot of things that the world needs to see you do before you leave here. And that can't that can't happen if you weren't allowing yourself to heal. Okay. So yeah, man, let's come together. Let's work. I posted it on my birthday. 22 is a year. Getting to it, man. So let's get to it. Let's work, let's grind, let's hustle, let's do what we do best. But at the same time, take care of each other and work on our mental health. You got what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with saying that you need to go see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with telling your spouse or your mom or whoever it is that you stay with or are close to, I need somebody to come pray with me because I ain't got the words today. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. And that's something that I really wish I would have picked up on as a teenager. Of course, it was taught to me, people were saying it, but when you a teenager, you young, you think you know everything and it don't really click. But it wasn't until my dad died in 2016 where I really had to go through. Well, my dad died so my dad died in 16, but then my grandfather, who also played a pivotal part in raising me, died in 2015. So I never really had time to heal, but it was during that whole process to where I really had to learn that it wasn't okay to not be okay consistently. I will wake up a lot of days angry for a lot of different reasons, but I would wake up in a haze. I would wake up in a fog, and I would just wake up pissed off at the whole world for no reason. You can wake me up, and I would just smooth cuss you out just because I was angry. And I never knew how to deal with it. I never knew how to just handle it. Um, and I dealt with that really before that, but it really it hit its peak around that time. So let's work, man. Let's do what we got to do. Let's grind, and let's continue to have a successful 2022. That's all I got on that, sis.
Oh, brother, that was delicious. That right there, that like we say at the church, that'll preach. That will preach. That was so good to me. Because you pointed out some things. I try
Hmm.
to keep little notes, but you pointed out some things
Hmm.
that I think that we know fully as women, I'll say.
Hmm.
Um, how and what to do with it, how to identify it, and how to be of service to our brothers. So
Hmm.
one thing you said to the brothers that I love was God is trying to make room for what you are praying for.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my
Yeah.
God. That
Yeah.
thing is so delicious to
Yeah.
me. That even blessed me.
Hmm.
He trying to make room for what you're praying for. Because
Yeah.
I know a lot of times what I've noticed is I see our brother and they're working hard. They're a lot of them, because I
Hmm.
don't want to speak for everybody, but a lot of them that I see, they work hard.
Hmm.
They have good manners. They you know what I'm saying? They take care of their kids. They
Hmm.
work, but they worship God. They pray. They do different things.
Hmm.
But like at some point there's something that literally tries to take their strength, literally tries to take them out. And so I've always been that type of sister that always wanted to understand what my brothers was going through. Like I
Hmm.
would sit, talk to them and ask them questions and try
Hmm.
to figure what can I do as a sister to help. But I love how you told them that God is trying to make room for what you are praying for. Because a
Hmm.
lot of times some of our brethren, they don't have the confidence to see it through,
Yeah.
don't have the full faith to see it through. Sometimes the self-esteem kicks in.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're tired of being strong all the time. And
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's nobody to tell them that, God is trying to make room for what you've been praying for.
Right.
So I want to say that again to all my brothers that just got on. The
Hmm.
reason you're going through what you're going through now, the
Hmm.
reason why it's throwing you off, the reason why it's hard and sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes you want to cuss people out. Sometimes you want to throw in the towel. But the reason why you feel uncomfortable in what you've been comfortable in is
Yeah.
because God is trying to make room for what you've been praying for. Woo!
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's delicious,
Sometimes,
brother.
and sometimes, when God gives us the vision, about what needs to happen. Sometimes we're strictly focused on what He showed us or what He told us, right? But we
Yes,
don't see, just like we don't see everything in between that's going on. So a lot of times, not even just men, people in general, they hold on to what they feel comfortable because that's comfortable. You got what I'm
yes.
saying? But
Mhm.
as believers, we have to think about the 12 disciples in Jesus, right? They never stayed at
Mhm,
a place for
mhm.
long,
My
right?
God.
They were
Mhm.
always uncomfortable and they were always put in different positions, not just for themselves, but to help other people. You got what
Yes.
I'm saying? If
Mhm,
they
mhm.
would have never walked with Jesus for that time period, they would have never known what it was. They would have never known what it was like to be with him and to know him personally. You got what I'm
Yes.
saying? That was the epitome of what a relationship with Christ looks like. You got what I'm saying? But they had to
Mhm.
make room to be uncomfortable in order to tell people this is what you need to do in
My
order
God.
to have that relationship with Christ. Now I'm just using that as an
Mhm.
example, but sometimes we are so caught up in the thing that we've been doing for so many years. We've been working 6 jobs and we've been doing this, but now when it's time to quit a job, we're like, that's kind of tight. We got this bill, we got this bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just bought a house. But God is
Mhm.
saying, if you quit the job, I'll pay the rent. You
Mhm.
got what I'm
Mhm.
saying? All you have to do is trust me. And sometimes as men, we have a really hard time trusting people in general.
Yes.
We can't see it, we can't taste it, we can't like it's not in front of us. We have a lot of times trusting it because we're always the decision maker. You got what I'm saying? So if
Mhm.
it's not right in front of us, is it really true? You got what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
see, look, my wife just said, "Let God work." Exactly,
Yeah.
sweetheart. Let God work. You got what I'm saying? If you let God be God, He'll give you exactly what you're asking for.
Come on.
So imagine it like this, y'all. Okay, so imagine you being behind the door and you hear God's voice, and God tells you to walk through the door, and whatever you're looking for is behind that door, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you're afraid to open up the door because you don't really know what's behind it. If God is
Yes.
telling you everything you want and everything you need is there, how do I trust that, right? When a brand new car is there that you don't have to pay for, a house or whatever it is that you are looking for that you need is behind the door. But if you would let God work on you and you would let God work through you, what you're looking for is behind there to keep doing what you're doing. That's
Mm.
the struggle. That's the struggle that a lot of times we as believers have when it comes to Christ. We want to be able to keep doing what we're doing exactly how we're doing it. But just as the disciples did, they had to keep reinventing themselves in order to reach certain people. We have to keep
Yeah.
reading reinventing ourselves in order to go to the next level to continue doing what we're doing. You got what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't want to be 6 years still working 6 jobs, still making the same income when you could be making the same income working 3 jobs. Now you have time for yourself.
Yes.
You got what I'm saying? So we have to always be able and available to let certain stuff go. But with that comes discernment. With that comes a certain relationship that you're going to have with God in order to believe what He said He's going to do. You got what I'm
Yes.
saying? Yes, we read the Bible. The Bible tells us, if you trust God, He'll make everything work. But that's all fine and dandy when your rent due, when you got $0 in your bank
Right.
account. You got what I'm saying? All that
Mm-hmm.
sound real good until a bill come up and you will know how you gonna pay for it. You feel what I'm saying? But that's the
Yes.
time where you really just have to dig deep and you figure out, okay, well, look, all right, boy, it's getting a little testy in this kitchen now. You
Yeah.
got what I'm saying? But as long as you stay diligent and as long as you continue to believe that He's going to do and trust that He's going to do what He said He's going to do, your rent may not be paid by the due date, but it'll be paid but it will be paid in full by the time the eviction papers are signed. You got what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, and I feel like a lot of times too, we make it seem like, God is going to always do this miraculous and marvelous, blessings and miracles. The fact that you were able to wake up and the fact that you were able to breathe and have something to eat throughout the day is a blessing in itself. And so we
Yeah.
have to be mindful of the little things so that way when the bigger things come, it's an overflow. You got what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, we definitely have to be able to make room for other things to come because we never know what God is trying to bless us with because we're so worried about what we already have and not wanting to lose that.
Mm-hmm. That's
Mm-hmm.
so true. That is
Yeah.
so true. And one thing, before I go to the next thing, I just
Mm-hmm.
want somebody to put this in the comments. It's time to get uncomfortable. Good
Yeah.
God Almighty, that
Yeah.
right there is so delicious to me because if you want an uncomfortable miracle,
Mm-hmm.
woo!
Come
If
on.
you want an uncomfortable blessing, you've got
Yeah.
to be in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
You've got to be in an uncomfortable place because what's happening in your uncomfortability is He's stretching you for more.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep feeling what He's stretching with stuff that's not conducive to
Mm-hmm.
what He's trying to do, you basically turn into a storage room.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You basically turn into a storage room because none of the stuff you've put in you're using. It's
Right.
just sitting there and collecting dust and
Right.
taking up space from the things that God is trying to do. Now, another thing I love that you said to our men on tonight, and I love how our women jumped on, and this thing is blessing them too. They taking everything and saying, "Yeah, this is for me."
Right.
That's what I love about our sisters on here, because
Right.
they gonna get something out of whatever message is coming. But I
Right.
love how
Right.
you said, as men, it will be okay eventually.
Right.
We
Right.
see nobody have told it's some brothers out there that they don't even know that there is an eventually,
Right.
and that it will be okay.
Right.
Oh my God, that was so delicious to me. So
Right.
let me just stop right there because I'm jumping ahead. So as women, how can we be of service to our I will say our men today, our in our generation?
Mm-hmm.
As women, how can, because some of us, we're so caught up with the the cars, the jewelry. If the man have this, he got that. If he doing this, if he do, but we don't always know how to identify or deal with a man when he's going through his broken season.
Right.
So when you're going through your it's okay to not be okay state,
Mm-hmm.
how do we as women, like, what do you all want from us as women? Like, how can we help you all?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Dating a man in today's time is really a slippery slope, and you really have to know who God is in order to deal with a man, just because of what he has to deal with on an everyday basis. Because, and I'm gonna just speak for myself. I don't have the best communication skills. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Sometimes I can be emotionally unavailable, and I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you really have to, one, know Christ, and you have to continue to cover your husband, because a lot of times he's going to wake up every single morning, he's going to put his pants on, he's going to go to work, kiss you goodbye, and come home, hug his kids, do whatever you got to do. But the moment you go to sleep, everything falls apart. He's not going to know how to tell you that, because he does not want you to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got what I'm saying? So the biggest thing that you can do for any kind of man is to always cover him for things seen and unseen. You also have to keep him covered and allow God to work on him to be able to communicate on when he is on like when he's having a moment. But then in that, now again, guys, we've got to step up and try to do better with our communication and expressing when we aren't okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, and I know sometimes it could be challenging or like a barrier for us, but in order for this to work, it has to be 100% on both ends. You got what I'm saying? But in
Mm-hmm.
that, you have to be able to pick up on your husband's mannerisms, okay? Or sometimes you have to just stop him completely in his tracks and just tell him it's okay, and love on him, kiss him, rub his back, pour him a glass of wine, make him feel like he is appreciated. Because a lot of times, even if we don't feel appreciated, we're going to continue to do what we have to do because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got what I'm saying? So I can't tell you. I'm still working on it myself. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna be honest. But the thing that I tell my wife all the time is that you know I'm trying. That's all you can do is try. You have to try every single day to be better than you were yesterday. You got what I'm saying? Some days, you can't communicate and you can say this and you can say that. And some days you don't know how to deal with it. You can't handle it. But then as the woman, that's when you step in and you say, okay, I can see that he's having a moment. Let me go into prayer and cover my husband. And then hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
tonight or maybe tomorrow, we can sit down and have a conversation about what he has going on and really talk to me about how his day was, or, what's stressing him out. You got what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it ain't no easy thing. It ain't easy, but if both of you guys were together, um, it is doable.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
my bro said, Vic Freeman said, men are expected to lead and provide and stay strong, but sometimes we lose direction. Once that happens, people around you give up on you, and then you just start spiraling. It gets real. Little bro,
Yeah.
you are absolutely right about that. But at the same time, you have to. It's all about who you surround yourself with. You know
Mm-hmm.
what's funny is me and my wife just had this conversation last night. I keep a really close circle, like tight knit circle. Like if you want to become friends with me, it is really hard to become one. I'm not really a people person like that. I mean, I am. Of course, I'm always friendly, but I'm kind of reserved a little bit. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. Okay, so I'm not. I ain't really all that. But if you come speak to me, I'm gonna give you a great conversation. But I ain't always going out to you. But in that, the group of friends that I have, and if you want to come into my circle, I had a friend who lived in New York when my dad died. So when my dad died, he was living in New York. Once I told him that my dad died, he spent all of the money that he had in his bank account just to come sit with me for a couple of days while my dad died. He ended up getting stuck here and is still here to this day. I had not talked to this friend in about a year and a half. I don't talk to my friends often, but this friend, we all grew up together. So, and I know how much my dad meant to him. So, anytime I called him or anytime he's called me, we always pick up the phone because we don't get a chance to talk that often. I got a life, he got a life. So he spent every dime he had in his pocket and caught the subway, not the subway. What's the bus
The
that
bus,
comes down? Yeah, the
the
bus.
Greyhound.
Greyhound. That's what I'm thinking about. He caught the Greyhound just to come see about me. You got what I'm saying? Or I
Mm-hmm.
had friends like you got to match my friend's energy. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be on the same wavelength as me because what's going to happen is once they forget about you, you start spiraling. I need my
Yeah.
friends to tell me when I'm wrong or when I am
Mm-hmm.
spiraling and pick myself up. You got what I'm saying, Vic? So you got to be able to watch who you hanging around because that's going to determine how you continue the journey of making it through. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
oh, that's delicious,
yeah.
brother. You talking like you an old bishop tonight. You giving us real good wisdom and meat. Oh, that's good. That's good. Cause
hmm
watching who you around is very important,
hmm
especially if you're not strong enough. Like if you're easily what is the word that I'm looking for?
uh, influenced.
Influence, yeah, especially if you're
hmm
easily influenced because you could be doing good, everything will be going good. You get around some people you think they cool, and a
hmm
whole the enemy have sent them
Yeah.
specifically on assignment to set you up
Yeah.
specifically. And now you out here, you don't know what to do. They ain't nowhere to be found. They've been lying the whole time. They don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you when you're wrong. They don't tell you how. Let me ask you this. Thank you, Holy Ghost. How important is it as a man to have the right people in your life that's going to like that to me it seems like it's for me as a woman that's a thing I need. Like if you don't see me on for a while, I got some sisters on here now. I could
hmm
miss about 2 weeks. They're in my inbox like, hold on, wait a minute, what's
hmm
going on? We
Right.
waiting on you. You need to come on back. You can't
Right.
stay here. You can't, because a lot of times, and I'm asking this because most of our young black men that you see that's getting locked up, they were with a group of people,
hmm
but somehow they're the only one that's then got locked up, or they went with their friends and was killed by their friends, set up
hmm
by their boy,
Right.
you know found out the homeboy was jealous of him. The homeboy
Right.
that messed with the girl. It's
Right.
always the one that's closest to you. So
Right.
as a man, how do you because we know discernment, but for the ones who, let's say, are not in the church and they don't
hmm
know discernment,
hmm
how do you identify when the friend is not right for your circle as a man?
Well, it varies on your character or your personality. Um,
Mm,
I'm not an alpha man, but uh you're not gonna say I'm more so of the leader type of person, right? I'm not really a
mhm.
leader, but I don't follow nobody. You got what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And for me, person, the way I carry myself, I'm gonna always give you respect, and in return, I demand respect back. You got what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm not I'm not the kind of person to where you can just say and do whatever you want to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Lord still working with me with that on that part. Yeah, we working on
Aha, thank you,
it.
Jesus.
But in that, I need people around me that are going to tell me when I'm wrong,
Yes.
because I tend to be a lot of times the leader, or the wise one, or whatever you want to call it. And so I understood young that, because I had friends who were knuckleheads, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and I kept finding myself in trouble. So um, as I got older, I started to realize that I needed people around me that were going to slow me down and that were going to keep me accountable. But then, as I really started taking this walk with Christ, I realized that I needed friends that were not only going to hold me accountable,
Mhm.
but was going to make sure that I was staying close to God.
Yes.
So I'm saying all that to say it really does depend on your character, or and if you are in tune with yourself. But I always say the best thing to do when finding out friends is they can tell you when you're wrong without judging you, or without downplaying you, or belittling you. If
Mhm.
they feel
Mhm.
comfortable enough to tell you those things, you probably have a good friend. And so then, I've always been a thinker. I coach football, so I'm thinking 24/7. I've always been a thinker. So then, once I start that process, I think about what value they can add to my life without besides telling me when I'm wrong. You got what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
Are
Yes.
they some kind of entrepreneur? Are they, seeking to go into ministry? What value can they add to me? Or is this going to be something, to where I'm just always pouring into them? You got what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
something, if it's something where you are pouring into them more than they are pouring into you, that friend is probably only going to be there for a season.
Mm.
Okay, hear that?
My God.
He's only going to be there for a season. But if I can call you on the phone, and if before I even say, so if I can call you on the phone, and before we really have a conversation, and you can tell something's wrong with me, now you add value to me. You got what I'm saying? Or if I
Yeah.
can look at you and be inspired by what you do, and it encourages me to make me want to keep doing what I'm doing, you have value to me. You got what I'm saying?
Yes.
If
Yes.
if I see, and it doesn't even have to be that we had like the same things, okay?
Mhm.
It just has to be I'm really intrigued by work ethic, because I have a really high work ethic. Okay. I'm also intrigued by how you think. So it really does just depend on the person. But like I said, I always say it really depends on, it starts with people being able to tell you when you're wrong. And then from there, you can kind of weed in and weed out, how you see fit. So if
Mm.
you have never, if you don't really know Christ, or you are familiar with that kind of thing, you want friends around you that can say, that ain't really the move today. Or we gonna kick it at the crib today. You got what I'm saying? We ain't going out, we ain't doing this, and we ain't doing that. Or, you know, they see you acting up, they're gonna pull you to the side and tell you that they're not gonna bash you out in front of everybody, but they're gonna pull you to the side and tell you, hey, okay, you were tripping on this. Start off with that and then take it from there.
Oh, I love that. That was delicious. That was delicious. That I never thought about that. Like, because we're so quick when somebody's telling us we're wrong, we're
Mm-hmm.
sometimes quick to like cut that off or argue with that or feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think we make it more offensive sometimes
Than
than
what it
what
is.
is really, yeah, than what it is. And so that was deep. Like if you can't tell me the truth about me and we still be friends, or I
Yeah.
can't tell you the truth about you and we still be friends,
Yeah.
it's no need for us to even start anything because we didn't dealt with enough liars.
That's fact.
We we don't need no more of them. They can
Right.
all go ahead and get in a group together. Like you
Right.
said, make a group chat and
Right.
y'all text about the lies and that. Quit including us, the
Yeah.
100% real people.
Right.
We ain't got time for that.
Right.
But that's deep. I love how you said that. Start with what they're telling you.
Mm-hmm.
If they're telling you you're wrong, if they're telling you the truth, if they're not telling you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
start with how if basing it off of you. Like you said, I have a high work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
so I throw it off with somebody who work ethic ain't
Exactly.
hitting. Another
Exactly.
thing is if I'm taking care of my kids and you ain't taking care of yours, it's nothing I could do with that.
I have lost a lot of friends because I have challenged them. So mind you, some years ago we would kick it heavily. We were always together with each other, but for some reason they never had their kids. And so when I asked them about it, I didn't like the answer. And so now that I know we can't be friends because you have to have a standard. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? The season say holiness is still right. That's a standard. You got what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That they were never going to come down off of. But even just not even trying to be all extra deep, just who you are personally, you have to have a standard for yourself. And if you allow the people, and if you allow certain things around your stuff, that starts to rub off on you. You
Yes.
got what I'm saying? You start thinking that it's okay. And for me, not being in your child's life is never not okay for me. So, and I still love you. I still wish will for you and prosperity and blessings for you, but I can't associate with you because we don't have the same values.
Woo! Y'all need to start looking at some of these people in y'all life's values and
Mm-hmm.
see if it's adding up, because it could be you're missing out on things because you're around the wrong people, or
Yeah.
you're around people that have no value. So
Yeah.
we got to start reevaluating some stuff here.
Yeah.
The people you talking to every day on the phone, do they have any real value in your life?
Yeah.
Do they have similar values to you? Are they looking to see you win? Are they
Yeah.
gonna pick you up when you fall? Are they
Yeah.
gonna call and check on you? And when you're dying, will
Yeah.
they come and try to pick you up? It's like in the game. I love playing Call of Duty, and I
Mm-hmm.
love how you're playing with the team, and if you die, they're still able to come get your dog tags. Do you
Yeah.
got anybody that when you dying, they'll
Yeah.
come and drive back and collect your dog tags? Good
Right.
God Almighty. If you
Right.
don't have that, baby, you need to send them on back to where they came from.
Right.
We don't need, like the man said on the old 614 tape, we don't need you, bro. We don't need you.
Right. Right. And
um,
that's so true.
another thing you said that I thought that was so delicious to me, again, that you don't hear a lot of men talk about, and you were talking to them about going through different things, and you said sometimes you just need to change your prayer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Some of us have been in the same lane for so long, and we're trying to figure out why we can't get out of it. And we had no idea that sometimes you just have to change your prayer.
Yeah.
We praying about the same man to come, but I don't know how long. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
came, treat us right. He didn't did this, that, and the other. And he wasn't the one, but because we was thirsty, we fought, went on and went with that. And we trying to figure out how come we ain't married yet, or how come every time we find, it's because you keep praying for just tall, dark, and handsome. You
Mm-hmm.
ain't praying for nothing else.
Mm-hmm. So peep this. So sometimes we miss what we were looking for. Think about the
Yeah.
analogy back in the cave, right? If you're in a dark cave and you can't see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God is already, God, his footprints are already laid in the gravel or in the sand for you to go where you got to go, right? But sometimes we'll miss our turn to get out of the cave because we were so focused on not being able to see, or
Yep.
or what we wanted. You got what I'm saying? So
Yes.
go ahead. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that I pinpointed that out. So yeah, sometimes you can definitely miss it.
That's true.
Wait.
In this the song, he sings it on the Tyler Perry play. He says sometimes we pray too long and the answer passes us by. Sometimes we stay too long and don't know the reason why. So
Yeah.
you right about that. You right about that. That's deep. That's
Mm-hmm.
deep. And then sometimes I believe, like you said, the footprints is right in front of us, and sometimes we miss it because the footprints don't look like what we want them to look like.
Exactly.
So we'll see them be like, oh, that's too small. That couldn't be Jesus' feet. He ain't
Mm-hmm.
leading us that way. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, them is too big. They ain't got enough lines in them. That couldn't be it.
Right.
Or we'll start looking at somebody else who's following their footsteps
That part.
and start saying, oh, we want that. This is that,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know what they went through before they was able to see the footsteps to
Yeah.
get out of the cave. We
Yeah.
just see that the fact that they're walking the steps and it looks good and that they're heading closer to the door to the cave, but we don't know how many tears they cried.
Right.
We don't know what they lost along the journey. We don't know the hell, that they've been through along the journey of following those footsteps.
Right.
But I love that how you said change your prayer. Then you said to us that you have to take ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, brother, what does that look like? I know we gotta go, but you giving me so many good look. I got all my notes wrote down in my phone. To tell
So
us that for our men, our generation of men today, what does ownership look like?
acknowledging where you went wrong.
Mm,
Simple as that.
my
Understanding how you could have handled something different. Hold on. Listening to your wife.
mm,
Simple as that.
my God. Did y'all
Okay,
hear him?
just exactly what that says. You know how, as a kid, your parents tell you, say what you did wrong. Take ownership of what you did. Don't worry about your sister. What did you do? Perfect example. I just told my daughter last night, the baby wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. And my oldest baby, she has a beautiful heart, and she's always trying to keep her sister from doing bad. And
Mm-mm.
sometimes she forgets what her parents have already told her to do. And so I had to remind her it does not matter what she is doing. What did I tell you to do?
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? So a lot of times God is saying, I don't care what everybody else said. What did I tell you to do?
Ah, come on.
So it's just
Woo!
it's just exactly that. Take ownership of your part. And we're just like the relationship with me and my wife. I had to take ownership that she wasn't the problem, and that it was me. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize that I was the problem. It wasn't her. She wasn't tripping. It was me. And so once I realized that and I took ownership of it, the our relationship is night and day. So just exactly what it sounds like is exactly what I'm saying. Take ownership. Just as you had to when you were a kid and you got suspended from school, or your mom and dad was getting ready to whoop your tail, and they always tell you, okay, well, what happened? What did you do? Simple, just that.
My God. That's delicious. I like that. Taking
Mm-hmm.
ownership. What did you do? What's your part? Because ladies, we gotta do that sometimes too. Because
Mm-hmm.
we'll blame it on the man, and sometimes it really be us. And we ain't saying, well, I did do this to provoke.
Mm-hmm.
I did do this, to do this. He did ask me to be there for him, but I didn't really want to do it at the time, you
Yeah.
know. So I wanted to do my own thing. So instead of being there for him, I picked the argument with him. Now
Yeah.
he gone and I don't know what to do. So we don't always say what we've done either. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's good. Ladies, don't just let the men take ownership by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start taking some ownership for some of the stuff that we have done too.
Right.
Whether that maybe you didn't mother the way you wanted to, maybe you know what I'm saying, you wasn't the best girlfriend. Maybe sometimes was aggravating a little bit in the marriage. We have got to take ownership as well because we're so used to the man being strong. We're so used to the man taking on all the responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
carrying everything on their shoulders. We're so used to that I'm speaking for our generation because a lot of the older generation, they kind of know how to love their man or help their man for that time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They're a little bit different. You know,
Mhm.
they still paid attention to the house. You
Right.
know, and they still believed in turning a house into a home,
Right.
and you know, so they're a little bit different. It's a few of them, but it's a little bit different. But it's us, our generation. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? We don't take the responsibility for the stuff. Sometimes taking ownership of what we do. Like we'll get in a relationship with somebody. No, we don't love them. No, we don't feel nothing. But
Mhm.
because he's doing what he's doing or making what he's making at the time, we're okay with that. We'll settle for that, or
Yeah.
we'll do that, and then we don't encourage him, we don't push him, we don't do anything. And so then when he leaves or he's unhappy, we're not understanding. We go to saying we ain't done nothing.
Right.
But what you really did was you wasted his time because he could have found someone who was going to walk this journey out.
Right.
He could have been with someone who could see him for him. He
Mhm.
could have been with someone, who was going to walk, like you said, cover him.
Mhm.
And we don't always cover.
Mhm.
Sometimes we could be a danger.
Mhm.
But then there's others of us, that we will cover. We'll try to do everything we can, and maybe the man is not sure of himself. So,
Mhm.
or whatever, or sure of the situation, or maybe he's not comfortable. And, here we are just sitting ducks and looking.
Right.
But we both, I believe we both have to take ownership on
Mhm.
each side,
Mhm.
even down to the smallest things.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't found $40 in this man's pants while you didn't wash his clothes, say
Right.
something.
Right.
He might need that $40. We
Right.
get to folding that up, putting that in our pockets and saying, thank you, Jesus. He
Right.
didn't bless me again.
Right.
And up to the biggest stuff, because that's how the enemy creeps in a lot of times in relationship, is
Mhm.
sometimes he comes in with the little things that haven't been said,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it'll go from something small to like, babe, you didn't get the yeah, Ti. Yeah, you didn't get, the toilet paper. And that could be something so simple, but it'll blow up to all of a sudden it's feelings y'all didn't know each other had.
Yeah.
You go to going for the jugular simply
Mhm.
because you've been holding in the little stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's good. Taking ownership. I love
Mhm.
that. And then this is what else you said to the brothers. It's okay to take a moment to breathe.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you
It's
why. That one really hits home for me.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I work 6 days a week. I coach year round. I also work with kids. I'm in ministry. I do different things. I'm always going. And so a lot of times I forget to just sit back and just breathe.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of men that are like me. Um, Perfect example, Bishop used to be like that some years ago. Bishop used to go, 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 go. I mean, Bishop used to run. And
Mm-hmm.
so when Bishop was training me, especially as I got older, he would always tell me, take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. Just understand what just happened. You got to always take time for yourself for everything. Take a couple minutes, and it ain't got to be no hour and a half, 2 hours, even if it's just 5 minutes to just take in what just happened.
Yes.
So we have to be able to just understand the moment and just be in the moment. Sometimes, when good things happen or even bad things happen, it's always a lot of times men compartmentalize a lot of things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
put things to the back burner and we bring other things forward because it's always something that has to be done. But if you hit a milestone on something or something traumatic just happened, we brush it off and put it to the back because something else has to be done and we don't have time to worry about it. But then 6 months later, when we tearing stuff up and we flipping over the desk and we knocking over the couch and the chair, and your wife is trying to figure out what in the devil was done got into you, it's that thing that you done pushed in the back of your mind 4 months ago that you never got over and took time to breathe about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. I love that. Take a minute to breathe, y'all, and process
Yeah.
what just happened. And know that this is another nugget that he said, and know that it gets better. It's
Eventually.
not gonna be like that always. It's not gonna. feel like that always. It won't hurt always.
Right.
It does get better. Another thing I love that you said, for the men, is find someone to talk to. I love how you even told them they can message and call you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear that? Y'all brothers, if y'all need prayer, y'all need somebody to talk to, advice. He is offering himself to tell you that he does not mind. But listen, he's not gonna play no games. We ain't playing no games with nobody. We trying to get people free for real.
Right.
So if you know that that's something you really want, hit him up. It's been times where I didn't feel like myself coming into service, and my
Mm-hmm.
brother did some things to me. I don't even know if he know it. It was something so simple, but it
Mm-hmm.
healed. It blessed me. It made me feel better. It made me want to go on to the
Mm-hmm.
next. And it could start off with, "Hey sis, you all right?"
Mm-hmm.
Just as simple as that. And if I begin to say, "Well, brother, it's just been," he puts the sticks down, he put the bag down, and he will look directly at you and really hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sis, you know what? I feel you, but look at it like this,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find someone to talk to, and then
Mm-hmm.
you allow yourself to heal. That's a big one, brother. I love that. I love that you gave the men so many nuggets tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't do nothing with them, well, it ain't nothing else we can do. You
Right.
gave them what they needed,
Yeah.
allowing yourself to heal. And I think a part of allowing yourself to heal is beginning to forgive yourself
Mm-hmm.
for either, number one, not getting to know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or for forgiving yourself for things that you may have took on. Because a lot of times when you're our young men who grow up in a single home with the mother, they will take on the household responsibility. I
Exactly.
told one time, I said, "Brother, I think what have happened to you is that you were forced to be the man of the house before you could walk around the house."
Facts. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Whew, my
Yeah.
God.
And when that happens, you miss a pivotal part of your young manhood.
Yes.
You missed a part of making mistakes as a young man, because now if you make a mistake and you're not a man in the house, that mistake has more value. It affects more people. You
My
got what I'm
God.
saying? So, and a lot of times, the father who left the home negatively affects, he robs him of his manhood in a way, because
Wow.
now he feels like everything I do has to be perfect. Well, okay, so perfect example. Think about football players, right? A lot of times you hear football players say, "I just got to make it out. I just got to make it out." And
Hmm.
they are extremely passionate about what they do because they are the ticket, and they don't have
Yes.
time or they don't have room to make a mistake. And if they do, not only does he fail, but the people around him fails. And a lot of that comes from single family homes. You got what I'm saying? They aren't
Hmm.
playing the game just for passion and they strictly love it. They are strictly depending on this thing to help them make it through. You got what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And so then a
Yeah.
lot of times when these people don't make it, or they mess up, or it doesn't pan out to where it was expected, everybody is affected by it. And now they feel like they have failed, which again sends you in a spiraling. It sends you spiraling down to where you don't have a plan B, you don't have a backup plan. This is the backup plan. So now what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to live without this thing. You got what I'm saying? And so now
Mhm.
that you don't know how to live, now we go from having a beer when we 16 or 17. Now we drinking out of bottles. You feel what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's a little touchy. We're not gonna talk about that, right? So once the bottle ain't hitting us no more, now we smoking weed. Once the weed ain't hitting, now we going to something stronger just to cope with the fact that we failed and everybody was affected by it.
My God.
You got what I'm saying? So you have to just you that's all I can say is you gotta adjust.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
My God, brother, we gotta come back for part two soon. We
Okay.
gotta come back for part two. I need another. I need a part two with you, and I gotta get you and Tiani, cause y'all got that young old wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
We need that. It ain't too many young couples our age.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to have y'all back. This been so good to me. This
Mm-hmm.
I got my notes wrote down, my nuggets, because I wanna be a better communicator,
Mm-hmm.
especially my brothers, because there's
Mm-hmm.
not too many people that's reaching out to them. Even the men don't reach out to the men no more.
Yeah, they don't.
And so I don't want to leave them behind. I want to make sure they're getting what they need to get. And so I gotta have you back for part two, brother. But I enjoyed you today. And
Thank you.
and he at the Freedom Clinic. When I tell you we were so excited, and I just really appreciate you getting on from
Mm-hmm.
the bottom, literally from the bottom of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because many people don't say yes to
Yeah.
me. And so when they do say it, it really touches my heart. It
Mm-hmm.
blesses me. And
Mm-hmm.
so you bless me today, brother, and I love you so much. Thank you so much, Tiani, for letting him get on here. And we love you here at the Freedom Clinic um as well. And brother, before we close out, do you have any last words of encouragement? Let them know again who you are and where they can find you. And if you want, you can even close out with prayer.
So yeah, so again, my name is Josh Riggins. A lot of people call me Riggins or Music, either one. Or I coach football for the Columbus Ice. So if you know anybody, come holler at me. You can always find me at somebody's football field. You can find me on Facebook at Josh Riggins. You can find me on Instagram. I speak to use listen. You can find me on TikTok. I am music. Definitely don't be afraid to reach out. If you need anything, let me know. If you want to holler at me, just come holler at me, man. And then one thing, I definitely do just want to make sure that, not even just the men, just as believers in general, is that we never stop fighting, right? The moment you stop fighting is the moment that you lose. Okay. A lot of times, when life is hitting us hard, we stop fighting and we stop believing and we stop keeping the hope, right? But the Bible says, I've never seen the righteous avail of much, right? So what that saying is, God has never lost a battle. And if that's the God that you're talking about, and that's the God that you believe in him and believe that whatever you got going on is going to work out eventually. Okay. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stories in the Bible where, people wanted something or they needed something to happen and it happened eventually. You got what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen is if it's done too early, you lose everything that you were supposed to learn from it. Okay. So that's pretty much all I got. I love you all, sis. Thank you for having me. This
Yeah.
has been an absolute pleasure. What you and your mom mean to me is something that I can't explain. Every time I get a chance to brag on you, do you know who Deasha and Pastor Karen is? Y'all, man, they're my peoples, man. I love them, man. I love y'all to death. Y'all are some of the most genuine people that I have ever met. Especially at a time where me and church wasn't getting along. You got what I'm saying? You guys were one of the ones that showed me what church looks like. So I love you all. Thank you for having me. And we've got to do this again, man. This was so much fun.
Yes, yes, yes. And brother, thank you. Thank you so much. That's all I could keep saying. And
Mhm.
we feel the same. You my dog to the end.
Yeah.
Once we play together, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
We a band into the end. It
That's
ain't, I don't care if it's years in between. It's that's it. And it
yeah.
ain't nothing else you can say right there. We
Facts.
family to the end. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? When you cut from that cloth, people like us, we don't call everybody family.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do say it, it is that mean it's blood could make us closer.
That's facts.
So I love you and I thank you again for taking time out of your work day, for taking time, just from the kids, wife, everything, and coming on here and giving us the surgery that we needed today. I want to
Mm.
thank everybody who joined us today. We love you all. We appreciate you all.
Mhm.
for tuning in every week. And listen, y'all, we celebrating the men. And I was gonna try to do a month, but I'm gonna have to spread the men out because they coming with fire. So we might have to carry this thing on into March. I don't know. We'll see what the Lord is saying. Next week we have Minga Lindsay. Now, if y'all ain't heard him, y'all got to tune in next week because when I tell y'all he's my little big brother. He's my big brother when it comes down to the word, and my little brother in the natural. And so we are excited about him, and we'll be back next week at the same time. We love you and we thank you for joining us on today. We are praying for you. May God bless you. May he keep you. May he cover you. May you have a week of unfiltered blessings and unfiltered favor. May every place that you're weak in, may you be strengthened. Every loss, may God fill it with something else. Every heartbreak, may God mend it and may he heal you like never before. And may you see the real you in him. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.